All right, 14's in the books. It's got one left. Like their guys' focus. There's a lot of reasons, or not reasons, but excuses for guys to come out on a day that's a little bit, blustery weather-wise, a little rain, cold. The spring game was Saturday. When teams aren't focused, they'll slop around. But I liked our guys' work ethic today, and thought we got a good, effective practice in. So, with that, what questions y'all have?
You guys, you talked about last Friday swapping guys' positions around. We've seen that a little bit this week. How have some of those guys, like the Nick Alftons, the Coindangs, I saw Lone and Zionde on the outside today, and some of the big packages. How have they taken to different roles?
Well, I think guys get excited when they get a chance to have a different role, and we do it for a couple of different reasons. One is to keep them involved. It's the last week of spring ball, and they got to. There's only so many things we can do in our base defense to show them new things, but this way, if we do have injuries, guys have played a different position. And, when we get into, big packages, when you play the teams that want to go with 3 and 4 tight ends, we're going to match them with size. And so getting an opportunity to do that, I think, really helps. And then the guy like Nick Alfton, we don't know how big Nick's going to get. And he's a big, long, physical guy. He may end up being 285 pounds before this thing's over. So we're going to look at him inside as well as outside.
Now, it looked like to me that your defense was pretty much dominating today. How did you feel today went?
Well, I think anytime you're not going live, we ought to win the drill. We ought to be in position. You saw on Saturday we had to finish some plays, and one-on-one tackles, we didn't make enough of them. I'd like to make every single one of them, and so. On today's like today, the thing I did like was I thought physically our guys, rose to the challenge. That we were winning at the line of scrimmage a bunch of times. We didn't always, but we were in a position to get 1 or 2 guys to the ball carrier, which was, a pretty good effort today.
There's one play I wanted to ask about in particular. I think it was a fly motion where Cam Good came down and kind of made Garber choose between what he was going to do, but he obviously made him choose wrong either way. How much has Cam improved as an edge setter in this defense?
Well, I'll tell you, he's done so many reps of what we're asking him to do that he's just a really natural player at doing it. And so you think he's going to have some rust not playing last, fall other than the first game. He's come back out here, and probably the first week he had a little bit of rust to knock off, but since he's been, getting his reps, that technique that we play for that particular play, he's done it probably 100 times, and he did it today. I don't know that he's gotten one of those this spring. No, I take that back. I think he got one earlier this spring, and then he reacted to that one like it was just drinking water. And that's what you want from players, is they don't think about things, they just naturally react. And he's doing a lot of things really, really well, whether it's in his coverage, whether it's in pass rush, or in setting an edge like he does.
Sometimes when the guys come back from injury, they're a little hesitant. Now, you see that from him, or is he back now the same way he was a year ago?
The only thing I've noticed is he's thicker, so he's setting a better edge. So at the point of attack, he's a little bit more stout. He complained a little early, and I think that's natural. You get some scar tissue that you got to kind of break through anytime you get an injury, and you're set for a little bit. But he hasn't complained in the last couple of weeks, and he's certainly not showing it in his play.
We got to see some of your pass rushing sets on Monday. How do you feel about some of that edge rushing ability that you guys now have with Cam being back, Coin being used there, Nick?
Well, again, I like our talent. We're getting longer guys that are multi-position guys. Guys like Coin can play inside or outside. Cam's a great edge rusher. Tevin can play inside and outside. I think Nick Alfton can do the same things. Lone can do some things there. So. We're trying to find, who are our best 4 guys. If we get in a definite pass situation, get our best on the field, and we know we got some guys in the back end can cover if we can not give them too long a period of time. So getting a chance to go some, different looks with guys in different positions and have good looks from our offense has been really good for our development.
One guy who's not here yet, but I wanted to ask you about is Curly Young, who's going to be someone who can play inside and outside. What's his skill set like, and what will he be able to add?
Well, again, I think you just mentioned it. He's a guy who's very strong. He can run. He's a 4.5 40 guy. He's about 225 pounds right now. You'd like him to be a little bit thicker to be an edge guy, but he does such a good job with his hands and leverage that he can set an edge really well as an outside guy, and he's got a burst off the edge to rush the passer. So he's another one of those guys, different type of body than a Koindang, but he's one of those guys that can play inside or play outside. We're excited to get him in and see what he can do. Miles Jernigan will be here this summer as well, and both those guys have that position flexibility that we look for.
What kind of spring is Travion having? I know he's flashed a lot. Is he a different player now? Is he?
I think if anything, he's been validated this last year. He's always had a lot of confidence. But to be frank, a year ago, he was a guy that we were concerned about consistency. Had a decent year a year ago, but there was too many plays that we thought he should have been in a different position that he let get away from him. Off the field, he was not real consistent. So I think he's done an excellent job of being much more consistent off the field, and it's reflected in his play on the field. I think he realizes he can be a really a leading factor on our defense, because he's definitely got the ability to make plays. I don't know if you saw the other day, we're playing quarters coverage, and he anticipated the route and undercut it. And I mean, that's the kind of things he can do because he's got great anticipation and ball skills and burst.
Are you still using him kind of the same way? He's primarily a nickel guy.
Mm-hmm. And he'll play some corner as well for us, but I think his probably strength is being that nickel slot guy for us.
What have you seen in terms of the improvement with your run defense over the spring?
Well, we still got a little ways to go, but when you have guys returning like we do, our first group, I think, understands and is just fitting things better and faster. We get some of the younger guys in there. We're not quite as clean, and we got to get those guys up to speed. But that first unit, I like where they're at. I think we should be an improved run defense next year.
You mean this year?
Well, this
season.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
All right, we good?
Thanks so
All right,
much.
no worries, guys.